So here's the first pillar. The first pillar of power. Get focused. You have to get focused. You have to make it clear and compelling. What is your vision? And I'm not talking about a vision statement. I'm not talking about a mission statement. What is your vision for your life? See, one of the things that I ask, and for those of you who have been with me, you hear this question over and over and over because it's always relevant. What do you want? What do you want? And every time I ask a client that, they can start to tell me a little bit, kind of vaguely, of what they want, but what always ends up happening is they start to say what they don't want. Well, I don't want to overeat anymore. I don't want to keep skipping my workouts. I don't want to fight with my spouse or significant other. Well, that's not a real good strategy for deciding what you want, because what you need to understand is this: where focus goes, energy flows. That is the law of the universe. It's not my law, it's not Kevin's law. It is absolutely the law of the universe. And we hear this in the law of attraction. You know, people have talked about that for years, the secret and all that. But it's also in the Bible. Seek and ye shall find. Exactly. We call it, you know, in coaching terms or in NLP, neuro-linguistic program, we call it sensory acuity. If you're always thinking about what you don't want, that's exactly what you're going to create. And let me give you a quick example. Everybody close your eyes for a minute. Nobody's going to hit you or make fun of you. Just close your eyes. And here's what I want. It's a very simple exercise. I want you to think about anything, but do not think about the Statue of Liberty. Think about anything but the Statue of Liberty. Why are you laughing? Okay, so what happened? Anybody? Yeah, you think about it, you see, but I told you, do not. You guys don't follow directions very well, do you? Or is it your brain that really doesn't follow directions? See, that's the thing. We think we're sending instructions to our brain. I told you, don't overeat. I told you, don't fight. I told you, don't skip workouts. But what your brain hears is only the operative word. Literally, your brain, your unconscious brain does not understand the difference between do and do not. It doesn't understand. It hears the operative word and it says, okay, that must be what you want me to do. Where focus goes, energy flows. You have to clarify the results that you want in life. You know, when I ask, what do you want? It's more than just a nice little question. What do you want? Oh, I want some ice cream. You know, it's like, I'll ask people, you know, what do you want? They'll say, well, I want to make more money. And sometimes I'll pull out $1 and I'll go, here, now you have more money. What else do you want? But see, without clarity, how do you know if you're hitting the target? How do you know? What does an extraordinary life look like for you? How do you define it? Because in the end, you know, I'll tell you this, there are a lot of people who will define for you what your life should look like if you're not willing to take that risk, if you're not willing to step up and decide. If you don't have a target, how do you know if you're going to hit it? You know, in Alice in Wonderland, you know, the thing I love is that we have so many different places where we can find practical wisdom for the world. And remember when Alice is talking to the crazy caterpillar smoking a hookah, and you know, they come to the fork in the road, and he says, well, if you don't know where you want to go, any road will take you there. And that tends to be how we run our lives. I know that when I was younger, my goal or my vision of my life was do well in school, get scholarships, go to college, study whatever they give me scholarships for, go out and get a job, get married. You know, it's like, do what you think is the right thing, what our families program us to do, what we're told by society is the right thing to do. The problem is that we can go along with that, and some of us can create, you know, what looks like externally success. But again, success without fulfillment is failure. So I was very successful in what I did, and I'm successful now, but I'll tell you there's a big difference. I am so much more fulfilled because I have a target. I know exactly what I want from my life. I know exactly what I want it to look like. I know I've defined the terms of what an extraordinary life looks like for me, and I'm living to that vision. Do I slip and fall sometimes? Absolutely. But the key is I keep going, just like Richie Parker. You know, Richie Parker he's very clear on what he wants. He has a focus. And he said from very early on, I'm gonna ride a bike, I'm gonna drive a car, I wanna be an automotive engineer. And everybody's like, you can't do that. And he said, watch me. And he's doing it. You know, I love that they said it was supposed to be an 8-month internship, and now, almost 9 years later, he's still there. And I just think that's amazing, because it just talks about the spirit that this guy has, and he keeps redefining. Because here's the thing, as soon as you reach that vision of what you want, guess what? There's something else waiting. There's another step. So be prepared for that too. Always be reassessing, where am I? You know, great leaders, we ask ourselves, where am I? Where do I want to be? And how do I get there?